Thank you, Nutan, for this warm welcome. And it was so awesome listening to you, Mahalakshmi. And you have already touched 600 plus lives right here. And such a beautiful story it is. And Rusali ma'am, salute to you. It is phenomenal. The way you have guided, and it is phenomenal. Okay, great. Guys, good evening, everyone. My name is Soumyadip. We are Soumyadip and Sanchari, dialing in from Bangalore. I'm working as senior data scientist in an IT firm. I'm associated with this community for last few years, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. Today, I am going to cover on kitchen pharmacy. So, what are the best practices in the kitchen? What we can do to make our health better, right? So, let me share my screen. Let me know if you can able to see my screen. Give a thumbs up. Okay, great. Okay. So before we begin, I want all of you to write on the chat box. Open the chat box. Okay. So when I say kitchen, what is the first thing that comes in your mind? Write in the chat box. Okay, food. Yes, food. Yeah, utensils. Very nice. Biryani. Yeah. Yes, that's good. Very nice. Okay. A few years ago, I struggled with being overweight, constant fatigue, and poor gut health. And I changed my diet and lifestyle. And while my weight has improved, but my gut issues, my constipation, bloating, digestive discomfort was still there. And I kept wondering, what am I missing? That is when I started digging deeper. I realized that my kitchen, my cookware, storage system, and even the way I am reheating the food, that was actually triggering the hidden toxins that was disrupting my gut, my digestive health, my hormones, right? And once I started making the changes, my digestion suddenly got improved. And today I am very happy that I am free from any kind of struggles. Today I'll share a few simple practices, okay? And before that, let me show you some fact check, okay? As per the study, even a newborn baby, when it is born, it has 287 industrial chemicals. 180 of them are known as known carcinogens, and 217 are neurotoxic chemicals. 208 are linked to the birth defects. That means what? Even before we are born, these many chemicals are getting into the body, which is leading to high amount of cancer, hormonal imbalance, birth defects, so many other things, right? And BPA, that is a bisphenol A, that is actually found in 9 out of the 10 newborn babies. Now, how these things are getting into your body? There are various things, right? Now, certain things we may not have a complete control of it. Certain things we can have a control of it. Correct? So today we are going to see what are the things we can take a control of it and take some actions and retune these harmful chemicals and endocrine disruptors which is going into our body. Okay. So let's start with some storage mistakes that harm our health. Okay. So what are the hidden hormonal disruptor in our storage? So plastic containers, plastic bag, and wraps. Okay. So many of us we store vegetables, fruits, even cooked food in the plastic container, in the plastic bag also. And when plastic is heated, let's say if you are cooking some, if you are heating something in the microwave, okay, you are using plastic there, right? So, or if you are washing with hot water, right? Then some compound BPA, bisphenol A, and phthalates that break down. Okay, so that is getting released from that plastic. And also, plastics degrade faster when it is in contact with oily food, like the curries, cheese, butter, or some acidic foods like tomato or citrus food, right? Now, BPA has a very similar structure like estrogen. So, estrogen is a key hormone that regulates the menstruation cycle. Okay. Now, what does it mean by that? Both BPA and estrogen have hydroxyl groups, these OH groups, you can see there, right? So BPA contains two benzene rings, while estrogen has a steroid ring structure. You do not have to go into the detail of terminologies, you just see in the picture. So there is lot of resemblance between these two, right? That's why body gets confused. Now BPA enters to the bloodstream, right? And it binds to the estrogen receptors in the body, and which disrupts the natural hormonal signals, right? And you can imagine your body like it has locks, right? The estrogen receptors, and estrogen is like a key, right? Which actually perfectly fits into that locks to keep everything in balance. Now, BPA is like a fake key, right? It looks very similar to estrogen, and the body thinks that it is the real one and it tries to use it. Now, when BPA enters into the bloodstream, it locks into this estrogen receptor. But because it is not the real estrogen, it doesn't work properly. And since BPA doesn't function exactly like the natural estrogen, it can overstimulate or block the natural estrogenic activity. Correct? So as a result, the body's natural hormonal balance get disrupted, which actually causes the issues like PCOS, fertility issue, thyroid, and even the weight gain as well. Okay. Now coming to the aluminum foil, when aluminum foil is wrapped around acidic foods like tomato or lemon or vinegar-based food, okay, so it leaches aluminum into your food, which really affects your brain function and immunity. Okay, and acidic foods have a lower pH. Okay, and acid breaks down the aluminum foil and forms aluminum salt, which is transferred into the food. Correct. Now, what are the better alternatives to it? Okay, so you can store food in the glass or stainless steel or ceramic containers, or you can use banana leaves or parchment paper or beeswax wraps instead of aluminum foil. And one thing you should do, like you should remove the fruits and vegetables from plastic packaging immediately after purchasing, if you are doing that. Okay. And you can store leafy vegetables in cotton bags, cloth bags, or airtight glass container to make them fresh for longer period of time. Okay. Now coming next, the cookware, right? So our cookwares play a massive role in the toxicity level in the body. And I believe every household uses this non-stick, aluminum, iron, mud pot, everything, right? And people started using stainless steel also. So let's see what are the drawbacks in this. Starting with non-stick cookware, Teflon coated. So it has high amount of PFAs, and even with a single scratch, chemical can leach into your food. Another thing is about the aluminum cookware. So with heat, aluminum reacts with acidic food, and aluminum can leach, and it can lead to Alzheimer disease, right? And it disrupts the brain functioning and immunity issues. Now coming to the iron, so it also actually leads to toxicity, and it leads like it brings the metallic taste when it reacts with the acidic food, and that is an inorganic form of iron, right? And which is not easily regulated by the body. Uh, things about the mud is the quality of the mud, right? Because the quality we are getting is not that great. It comes with lot of heavy metals, and durability wise also it is not that great. And one of the most common thing is stainless steel, right? When it comes to stainless steel, people are at least aware now that stainless steel should be used, but they do not know that what stainless steel are good for use, right? So low quality stainless steel leach the nickel into the food, which might cause the skin allergies, gut issues, even the toxicity over time. Now there is something called which is started nickel free stainless steel, and that is another marketing gimmick. Even nickel free stainless steel is cheaper because manufacturers replace the nickel with manganese, right? So over time it may rust and degrade faster. Okay, especially lot of chemicals. So what is happening, basically lot of chemicals goes into the body and it creates a lot of hormonal imbalance, right? Now let's see what we can do to overcome this. So what is the best alternative? I'll recommend for surgical grade stainless steel, which is 304 or 316 type, where there is 16 to 18% of chromium, 8 to 10% of nickel. This combination is there. Now you might question that, oh, there is nickel also. It can leach, right? Now the thing is, here the chromium forms a passive oxide layer on the surface of stainless steel. And this protective layer prevents the nickel from leaching into the food, which makes it more safer for cooking. So nickel is tightly bound within the alloy structure. Correct. So surgical grade stainless steel is non-reactive with acidic or alkaline foods, which ensures that no toxins are leached into your food. And if you are using premium quality surgical steel, it is not just about the steel, you will also have nutrition protection technique as well. Because at high temperature, vegetables can lose many of its vital nutrients, including the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, right? And a nutrition protection technique really helps to preserve the natural flavor and the nutrients of the food by controlling the temperature and the moisture level in the cookware, right? And it helps in retaining the water soluble vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin B, right? Which are very sensitive to high temperature, correct? Now, coming to the science behind reheating, okay? So, starting with microwaving food is a very common practice, but it is very unsafe for your health because it uses the radiation to heat the food, which can actually destroy the sensitive vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin B12, folate, correct? Now, specifically retaining, like reheating these few certain foods like spinach or beetroot in very high temperature, it creates harmful compounds, which increases the cancer risk. Okay, even mushrooms and eggs goes through significant protein structure changes when it is reheated. Okay, now reheating oil can create harmful toxins also, and which are very dangerous for our health. And when oil are reheated, especially at high temperature, it breaks down and produce acrolein, okay, which is a very toxic compound, okay, and this can be very harmful for your digestive health and respiratory health, right? And also, when oil is repeatedly heated, it can form free radicals, which can damage your cells, okay, so which increases the risk of chronic disease like heart disease or inflammatory conditions, correct? So there is another thing like you should avoid reheating packaged food. Okay, pre-packaged food often contains preservatives that break down during the reheating and which may create unhealthy chemical reaction. Right now, what are the better alternatives? See, steaming. Steaming is one of the gentlest methods of reheating food because it preserves the nutrients and keeps the food's texture intact, and it doesn't require any additive fat. It uses low and consistent heat. And for foods like vegetables and grains, steaming is the best way to reheat without compromising the health or flavor. There is another way you can do sauteing with a small amount of water or using the oven. So this is much better than microwaving or high temperature reheating. Okay. Coming next, what are the best practices for washing fruits and vegetables? See, many fruits and vegetables contain pesticides, wax coating, dirt, bacteria. I'll suggest you some of the best practices. It can really help you to remove as much as endotoxins or pesticides. If you are taking any kind of berries like strawberry, grapes, or apple, blueberries, you can use organic vegetable cleaner to remove these pesticides, or you can use 1:3 ratio of vinegar and water solution, wash properly and store it. If you are taking leafy greens like spinach, lettuce, or coriander, mint, or root vegetables like potato, beets, or if you are taking cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, cabbage, right? So you have to soak in the lukewarm salt water for 10 minutes, okay? And then run it under the water for some time. And for other vegetables, you soak it in the salt water for 10 minutes and then you can use it. Now, coming to rice, completely wash 2 or 3 times until the water is slightly clear. Avoid soaking it for too long, otherwise the B vitamins in the rice will be lost. Correct? Now there are some of other best practices I am going to share. One is the spice mistake. Okay. See, some of the spices contain hidden preservatives and chemicals, and most of us rely on pre-grounded spices, but they often contain like additives which can disrupt your estrogen balance. The research has found that nearly 12% of Indian spices are failed to meet the quality and the safety standards. Right now, what is the best practices for spice? We should avoid pre-grounded spice. Grind your own spice at home using this organic spice and store the spices in airtight container in a cool, dry place to maintain their potency. Okay. Now, there is another thing like we all have a common habit of storing cooked food in the fridge and we store for long hours. Now, here are some guidelines I am going to share. So, freshly cooked food is best when it is consumed within 24 to 48 hours. By day 3, bacteria start multiplying and nutrients decline. Correct. Now, freezing is fine, but like prolonged storage of freezing, that actually leads to vitamin loss. Yeah, that's all for today. Thank you all for being here today. I hope this session has empowered you to create a toxin free, healthier kitchen. I hope you have taken notes and do discuss with the person who has invited you here before making any changes. They have done extensive research on it, and he or she can recommend you something which is suitable for your health condition. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to me. Back to the host.